righty,
Hello.
we are live. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to a new off-the-cuff interview. Today's guest is Alex from Count.
Hello, everybody. It's the first show you guys all in one, so that's my pleasure.
Yes, it is. It's my first show after doing a rebrand. So yes, thank you for coming on, and thank you again for being patient and very flexible with your schedule. Last week was kind of crazy for me, being sick and all. So I appreciate it.
I'm glad that we're here doing this.
Yeah, me too. Let's take a look real quick over at some commenters. We have Alexander Miller, aka the Comic Central. Hello, hope you're doing well. And then we also have Mike in the chat. What's up,
nice to meet you.
Hope you're doing well.
Nice to see you. Sorry.
We have all our gaming buddies in the chat. That's always good to see. So first off, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I picked up a book earlier today, which is nice. Hopefully, I've got a few more books coming in soon, so that'll be nice.
Fantastic. What time is it over in Spain?
It is. Yep. It is 10 p.m. right now.
Holy smokes! Wow. So it's 5 p.m. where I'm at. But and you're kind of a night owl too, I feel like, because even when it's like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., you're still gaming and stuff and still online. I'm impressed by your ability to stay up.
They don't call me the Count for nothing, I guess, right?
Exactly. We have thinking_positive. Sup, guys? Wait a minute. I thought you were talking to Kansas Alex, not European Alex. I apologize. You were incorrect. We are talking to European Alex today. I hope Thor is brought up at least 20 times. Let me make a note of that. We can definitely bring up Thor. Is there some backstory there that I'm not understanding, or?
Well, actually, if I show you the book that I got earlier today, it might come up.
Awesome, fantastic.
Yeah, no, I really like Thor. Thor is one of my favorites.
We'll get into that then, because Thor is a character who I feel like recently he's had quite a few good runs as of late. So yeah, we'll get into Thor a little bit. I haven't really read Thor. I've read like maybe 5 issues or so, or of Jason Aaron's run, and that's it. So yeah, we'll talk about Thor. Let me make a note of that real quick. Alrighty. Let's see. Keep fighting, Alex. He denied me thinking positive. I did, yes.
One day,
so
maybe in 5 years.
Let me ask you, where's the name come from, Count Comic?
So if you look at my show right now, so it's part of like Count, like in like vampires. There's also recounting stories. That's what I like to do, like telling history. So that's where the name comes from.
A double play there.
Yeah.
I see. I like the name a lot, Count Comic.
Thank you.
Now, is it Count Comic or Count Comics?
I actually don't know. I think on my YouTube it might be comics. Let me actually check this. But it can be either.
Let's see. Before we dive into, also, everyone go make sure you're subscribed to Count Comics. Link to his channel in the description below, and turn on notifications, all that good jazz. And make sure you like this stream, and then also are subscribed to me if you're not already done so. So are you like a fan of like vampires and stuff, and you were like, oh, that's a cool name, or is it maybe like your European tradition having Count in the name? You know, where's it inspired from? If
I think I've always loved them. I think Dracula is just a very imposing figure, and
for sure.
I just liked them. But I never really enjoyed Twilight, but you know.
Well, that's a different type of vampire, I will say.
Yeah, but I do like the dark, gritty kind of gothic that it can bring. So that interests me a lot.
Have you seen Nosferatu yet?
I did. I saw it the last day it was in cinemas.
I watched it recently, like last week, I think. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was. Great.
Yeah, I liked it, but I felt like the last half, like the last quarter, kind of dragged on a bit. But visually, it was stunning.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's I really like the acting too across the board. I think the acting is really quite phenomenal. But yeah, wicked good movie, and if people are fans of vampires, definitely watch that one because um, Count Orlok in that is so menacing, so scary. Um, yeah, I really dig that one. Uh, Jay in the chat says, "Do an American accent for the vibes." Now, are you okay with doing an American accent? Do you want to give it a go? What's
Okay,
your
where from? Like, what type of American accent? I can try this.
do? Just do a like a New Yorker, like mine, like not Southern, unless you want to do a Southern style.
I feel like if I do Southern, that might come across as racist.
Oh yeah, maybe. Who cares though?
All right, let me see. See, how do you do it? I need to understand. How do you speak?
I don't know. I just do it. I think it's like same way. Like I wouldn't be able to speak European. You know, I don't think I could even give it a shot.
I'm gonna wait on this American accent just in case I come across as
Let
quite
it.
racist.
Yeah.
Gotta develop it a bit more.
Alex had a great letter pages video that came out last week. Check it out. Well researched. You did. We can kind of dive into that and maybe some of your content too. Because I'm curious too to see kind of what your vision is for your YouTube channel. And yeah, we'll dive into that here in a second. Do Alex's accent. Don't do his accent.
I think I'd have to go pretty high pitch, right?
I was gonna say you'll have to go pretty high pitch for that one. Don't be racist, Mike says. Yeah, I don't know. You can be racist against Americans. I feel like we kind of deserve it. Okay, question from Jay. Favorite Marvel run, at least. What do you think that would be?
That is. Can I swear on this?
What's that?
Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Right, that's kind of a fucked up thing to ask me. I tilt my camera a little bit. It might have to be X-Men, which goes all the way from there to like there. So
okay.
Chris Claremont's X-Men, probably.
Chris Claremont's X-Men.
Well, awesome. Actually, I've got some more over here. John Byrne's Fantastic Four run.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely some Thors up there. I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Interesting. I haven't really read any John Byrne's Fantastic Four, or I do own the trade paperback of Days of Future Past by Chris Claremont. That's by him, right?
Yeah, that is. That's him and John Byrne.
Yeah, and I tried to get into it, and it was just like, I don't know, just not my thing. So
I think, I think a lot of people look back on that story and they think it's like this grand story, and it's really just 2 issues.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just 2 issues.
I'll have to give it another shot.
Yeah, it's good. I wouldn't say it's my like top 5 X-Men stories, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like the movie has definitely popularized the story in the comic for sure.
And it's also had quite a lot of adaptations, like comic adaptations,
right?
Or like sequels rather.
Right. Captain Underpants says, "What's up, dude? This is cinema. It sure is cinema."
Thank you.
Alexander Miller says, "I'll watch Alex's video after I read Claremont's X-Men. It's hard to read." That's kind of how I felt about Days of Future Past. But
it's Claremont is notoriously wordy. One thing I will say though, don't watch the video if you haven't read it or plan to, because there's a lot of spoilers.
Yeah, don't watch your video. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, good to know. I personally probably don't. I watched it and I don't know. I didn't really care for spoilers, so I guess I'm kind of in a different category. But Bat Cato's here. Yo. What is up?
Nice to see you, man.
Hope you're doing well. Alex, you should count the amount of X-Men comics you have. Maybe not live on the show. I don't know.
Yeah, I got
for great content.
I got rid of some as well. So
what's that?
I got rid of some X-Men comics as well. So there's more.
Yeah, gotcha. So next question I have for you is, what are you currently reading?
So right now I'm reading Fantastic Four by Marv Wolfman, and also Doug Moench's Fantastic Four, which is right like in the middle of John Byrne's run. So basically, before John Byrne hops on FF, which is like the iconic run, Marv Wolfman has his little run. Then Byrne starts penciling the book, and then he starts doing layouts as well. Then there's like 10 issues where they don't really know what's going on, so Doug Mensch hops in. So I'm kind of just filling in the gaps of the John Byrne run, which I had never read before.
Gotcha. So is that collected in like an omnibus you're reading, trade paperback?
It was in the Marv Wolfman stuff was collected somewhere. I think it was called the Search for Galactus or something like that.
Okay.
But I'm reading it digitally, yeah, though.
Gotcha. What do you use to read digitally? Like what?
I probably shouldn't say that.
Okay, gotcha. So I'll use like Comixology, which funny enough, I actually canceled my subscription today because I just don't use it enough right now, and I do like it. They have a wide range of comics, but I'm like I have other stuff I need to read before I can read anything else digitally. So you're kind of on a Fantastic Four kick. It sounds like.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be reading a bit more for the movie as well. That'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You should do maybe a video that ties into the movie too, or
yeah, I think I will.
What Fantastic Four comics to read before you watch the movie, or I don't know. What was your favorite Fantastic Four run? I know you said it.
So my top runs, the Byrne run, Hickman would be up there.
Okay.
Lee Kirby, Wade, and probably Simonson as well.
Gotcha. Have you read oh gosh, what's his name now? Something North.
Ryan North. Oh yeah, Ryan North one. Yeah, that's great. That's really great. I have some of the singles actually.
Oh, do you? I hear great things about it. I hear it's just a lot of fun.
I've got one right behind me. It's cool as well because all the covers are done by Alex Ross.
Oh, no kidding.
Let me show you one.
Yeah, go grab one real quick. Let's see. Jay asks, what's that shirt say? I think you can see it right there. It's just a Flash shirt. Let me highlight you real quick. Okay. Well, there we go. I was clicking too.
You loved it so much you had to leave and think about it.
That was a cool cover though. Yeah, I just hear such good things about it. Like it's just a lot of fun.
I think for me,
check that one out.
Yeah, it's really good for me. It kind of hit very personal levels, so I like it a lot. They're kind of like individual stories, but focus.
That's what I hear too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very personal stories.
Interesting.
I think that's really neat. I think it's the best thing Marvel has right now, aside from maybe the Ultimates line. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, I'll do I'm sure I imagine there's a trade out already, but I could be wrong. So maybe I'll
I think there's 3 trades out right now.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. JS, what's your role on purchasing decisions, Alex, and all-in-one nerd? It's a good question. I'll let you answer that one first.
Okay, so my purchasing habits are not very good. I always try to read at least and I always read. So basically, I buy and I buy something and I read it immediately. And then so once I read an omnibus, then I'll allow myself to buy another one. But recently, I've been buying quite a lot of out of print stuff. So I'm buying maybe like 2 or 3 omnis, and then reading them after. But I don't allow myself to go too crazy. Like $250, kind of like $250 every like month or so is what I tried. To keep myself out.
That's not horrible. That's not horrible. Do you so how do you decide what you're going to buy though? Is it just like, oh, I think I'm going to like this? You hear a lot of good things. Do you read it digitally first? Or how's that work for you?
So I very rarely read stuff digitally and then buy it later. Sometimes I will read just for example, if it's like an omnibus with 40 issues, I'll randomly go online and read issue 29, see if I like it, and then I'll pick it up.
Interesting. Okay.
I kind of just focus on what I like. So I'm a big Kirby fan, so I know that I'll pick up anything Kirby basically. So I go look to see like maybe his most obscure work I'll try and pick up.
Gotcha.
So for me, it's more artists and writers basically. That's what I try to look for.
Got it. So you buy more, not if it's like a hero you really like, just if it's like a creative team you know you're probably
Yeah.
gonna enjoy. Gotcha. Yeah, that's usually how I decide what I'm gonna buy as well. Like Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, those always tend to be a safe bet for me, especially any of their indie stuff. I can blind buy it and enjoy it. Zoe Thorogood, another one, really like her. Daniel Warren Johnson. There are certain creative, whether it be writer or an artist, that have their names attached to it. I'm probably just gonna buy it. But if I'm not sure if I like it, what I'll do is I'll read it digitally first, or try to if it's available. And if I really like the story after reading a couple issues or a few issues, then I'll usually make that purchase of collected edition, whether it be a trade or an omnibus or something. So that's kind of how I go about it. Alexander Miller, Alex, do you illegally download comics?
I don't know why you would say that.
What's that?
He's putting me on the spot here.
Yeah, maybe plead the fifth to that
Yeah.
one. Let's plead the fifth. Let's see. Mike likes your shirt. I do too.
Thank
That's
you.
an awesome shirt.
So Flash
I
shirt.
think I used to have a similar one too, way back when, but I don't know, probably got ruined or I outgrew it. Digital options are different in Europe. Is that true? Is Comixology not available in Europe?
I don't think it is. At least the last time I checked a few years ago, it was not available for me. But I think Comixology went down a few years ago, didn't it?
Well, so they used to have a separate app that you could use, and it was like its own software or whatever. But now it's just a part of Kindle, so it's still available, the subscription and what they offer. But to use it, you have to go through the Kindle app, which I'm okay with. I don't really mind it personally. I don't know. I like Comixology. I think it's pretty good if you want to get into comics and you're looking for a cheaper alternative, for sure, because I think both of us know that buying comics is very expensive. It's an expensive hobby. Alexander Miller says Jake ruined Alex's buying habits. Is that true? Would you say Jake?
It is true. Yeah, he made me buy my first Absolute,
Which was Transmetropolitan, correct?
Yep, I have them down there somewhere.
That's one. I haven't read it. I think it's a story I'm definitely going to dig. I do want to get those Absolutes, but especially right now, it's like I just can't afford it.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
So, yeah, so I think I'll just wait, and when I can afford it, if they're still available, great. But if not, wasn't meant to be. I'll probably just get the trade paperbacks. And I think there's been rumors about Omnibus.
I hope so, man. I only bought the Absolutes because I've been wanting to read it. I love Warren Ellis. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Okay.
And that hasn't been in print like at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I might bite the bullet eventually and either buy the Absolutes or just get the trades. I don't know. Thinking_positive says Jake's out here piling on the absolute peer pressure. I feel like he for sure is. Yeah, that's what he lives and breathes. I feel like
no more Absolutes for me though. Transmit.
No more.
Yeah, just transmit.
So you got all three, correct? All three Transmetro.
I'm missing volume 1, which I'll hopefully get soon.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have a few Absolutes over here. Long Halloween, Hush, Day Tripper, and Preacher, volume 1. So I do want to get Preacher volume 1, 2, and 3 to complete that. And then
I've got my Preacher omnibus right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See, I really love Preacher, so I did want to do the Absolutes, but I'm sure the omnibuses are very nice. Yeah, the only others I might get is Transmetro if it's still available. I wouldn't mind getting Why the Last Man, those Absolutes either. But as far as other Absolutes go, I think that's where I tap out. I don't think I'm going to go heavy into Absolutes. They're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful, but they're crazy expensive. I wish I loved Brubaker like you guys. He just didn't hit it for me, except for Gotham Central. Interesting. Have you read any of his indie stuff? Thinking_positive.
I recently, I have a order coming in. It's a bunch of indie books. I got from Brubaker. I think I got Pulp,
Nice.
something else maybe. So that seems fun.
I am actually rereading Criminal right now. I have all 3 deluxes. I've read the entire series, but I wanted to like reread it, and so I'm on the first one now. And oh my god, I would strongly recommend it. The deluxes are beautiful. Let me just say too, absolutely beautiful. I would argue like any Brubaker indie stuff is pretty freaking good. Gotham Central is great too. I own that that omnibus right here.
I still don't have that one.
Oh, you got to get that one. That's a must. I do have to say.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jay, I wish Brubaker Volume 1 Daredevil got reprinted and Souls Run. Did y'all like the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again? So to answer your first or address your first part there, I feel like those are going to get reprinted eventually. I would be kind of shocked if they never got reprinted again. But
look out for the epics. I think Brubaker's run has been collected in Epic Collections, Modern Era Epics. So I think if you're
no
missing
kidding.
Volume 1, you can probably find it in the Epic Collection format.
Okay, well, there you go. I guess that's another way to read it, a cheaper way. What did you think about the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again? Did you watch those?
I watched the first 15 minutes, which is where, spoilers, guys, Foggy gets shot.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of, I feel like the backgrounds are very blurry and the colors are a bit dim, but it was cool. From what I've seen, it was cool. I didn't really care to watch more of it, but
Sure.
maybe I'll go back and see it later. I don't know.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes. I did a full review discussion, a 2-hour discussion with Tyler from Illuminati for the All-in-One Nerd Show. So Jay, if you want to go check that out, but I guess just to give you the cliff notes, what I thought of on it. I thought it was okay. I like the guts the show took with spoilers for, taking out Foggy. I felt like the first episode was pretty good. The second, not as good, but decent. I do think it pales in comparison to the Netflix shows. But I will continue to watch it probably on a week-to-week basis. If not, I will probably binge it at some point.
I've actually heard that they're doing a Punisher special or something. That interests me quite a lot. I'll be happy to see that.
Yeah, Punisher was in the trailer that got released. So I feel like there was rumors of a Punisher TV show, another one, but I don't know if that's confirmed or.
I think it's like a
No idea.
special or something that they're developing. Hopefully.
Yeah. So that will be cool. Great question. This is actually one of my questions. So you stole that from me, Mike. Alex, what inspired you to start your channel and what's a goal you're hoping to achieve? That's a great question.
So I privated them now, but I had a few videos on like Planetary and Tales of the Jedi. I just didn't see anyone talk about them. And like for the Letter Pages series that I'm doing right now, you look up Letter Pages on YouTube. There's not a single person discussing them. Like they're treasure. It's a treasure, and no one is talking about them. There's so much good stuff. It's so great.
What are Letter Pages? Because I know I asked you that before when we were just gaming one time and you were talking about it. But for maybe some members in the audience who don't know what Letter Pages are, what are they?
Okay, so essentially after every issue, you could write letters and send them into Marvel or DC. And then you had this thing called the Marvel Bullpen, which was like a group of people just like sending you back your letters or whatever. But a lot of the letters, so after each issue, they would show the letters, and the writers or the editors would reply to them. So it's you have like fans saying, "Oh, I love this I love this issue. I hated this issue. I like this thing. I didn't like this thing." You have sometimes scientists coming in and saying, "I know how that guy's powers work," or some. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's so good.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so is that what your main content on your channel is probably going to be? Highlighting some Letter Pages from these runs and comics?
I think so, but it's also very difficult to find Letter Pages because they're not in collected editions for the most part, only in some omnis. So you kind of have to look for them online, and they're difficult to find. So I'm gonna try to do it like as frequently as possible, but I'm also gonna have some work on some other stuff hopefully as well.
Gotcha. What can you give us a peek inside maybe what other content we can expect from your channel?
I think I might start explaining certain like deep diving into certain characters
Okay.
and giving historical context and like why they were created or what led to their creations, and then explaining their history and their impact.
Ooh, I like that a lot. That's interesting. I feel like maybe I'm sure there are YouTubers who do similar things, but I haven't really watched too many videos on like the history of the character. So I think that's a pretty good idea. I will say too, your editing for that video was awesome. So you and I know you said before that you like editing. So yeah, you killed it with the editing for that video. That was awesome.
Thank you. I came out a little bit bad in the end, but it is what it is. We'll better for the next time, hopefully.
Yeah, always there's always stuff to improve on, I suppose you could say, there's always I'm always a learner when it comes to editing, and I do not like editing at all. I filmed a video for this Sunday. It's my longest video, it's 26 minutes.
It's a nightmare, right?
Oh my gosh. I like did a rough edit, I didn't really add anything, just cut the shots and everything, trim the fat. So I still have to go through and add transitions and clips and whatever else I want to show. And I'm just dreading that. Luckily, I do have till, Sunday to do it. So I do have some time, but I'm just not crazy about editing.
The trimming is a nightmare.
Yeah. Bunk, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. From out of the comments and onto the live show. Excited for this conversation with Alex. Me too. Thank you for being here.
Did you enjoy the Bunk? Did you enjoy the AW pay-per-view last night? If you saw it,
are you asking Bunk that?
Yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan myself.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I know Bunk is. It's funny. A lot of comic people tend to be into wrestling too. I find that interesting. I'm personally not into wrestling. I used to be when I was younger, and then just fell out of it. And it just doesn't have much appeal to me, to be honest. But I'm always open to it. Alexander says it's about to be collected. I'm not sure what's this.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's funny. For the All-in-One Nerd Show Saturday, there was a few comments from Alexander, and me and Tyler were both like, we have no idea what this is about. So, Alexander, you got to do a little bit better with providing context. Elon, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. It's fun reading some of those, especially when you have future comic creators in them. Yeah, that's something you mentioned before when we were just talking privately, that you would get these comic book creators, like kids writing in, and now that they're famous, they're the letter pages are available, and it's kind of interesting to see that. Is there like one creator that wrote in a letter page that you find particularly interesting or compelling?
There's it's not a creator, but there was this amazing discussion that I plan to do a video on in Uncanny X-Men. It was two professors of physics talking about how Nightcrawler's abilities would work, and the guy wrote in, he explained it like super detailed, and the other guy responded to him via the letter and said, "No, you're wrong. This is how they do it." And it was like a huge paragraph.
Oh wow!
of physics blabber, and it's so funny.
That is interesting. It kind of reminds me of there is a YouTube channel that tries to provide scientific explanations to superhero powers and whatnot. I can't remember the channel's name, but they've done that like with like Thor's hammer and stuff. So it kind of reminds me of that. Bunk says, "What are letter pages? They still have letter pages. Do they? I did not know that. That's interesting. Although I don't really read new stuff coming out, month to month or anything like that. So also too, Bunk says, haven't got to watch the AEW PPV from last night. Need to go back and watch my guy Kenny. Awesome. I'm not sure who Kenny is, but do you root for Kenny?
He's one of the greatest.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Jumping back up here, Jay asked, favorite Elseworld story? That's a good question.
I'm just looking to see here. That is a good question. I would have maybe said Supergirl, but that is now canon. They made that canon a few months ago back in Action Comics, I think.
Okay. Is that Woman of Tomorrow?
Yeah, Woman of Tomorrow. Sorry.
Okay,
And then Black Mirror is pretty good. Kingdom Come is pretty good. What else am I missing here?
Let's see. Superman Red Sun.
Oh yeah, Red Sun.
Gotham by Gaslight.
Gaslight.
I haven't read that one. I need to. Superman Red Sun would probably be my favorites. My favorite one. And also Batman Black Mirror is up for nomination for my book club in my Discord. So if anyone's interested in joining that, link to join that in the description, and then feel free to cast your votes. Bunk says the question still has my favorite letter pages still collected in the Omni. Interesting. I know when I had Bunk on for a interview, he talked a lot about the question. Got me really intrigued about the question.
The interesting thing about the question Omni, I don't know if I prefer it or not, but so normally the letter pages in these older Omnis are collected after the issue. In the question omnibuses, they're collected as extras. So you just have like a crap ton of reading to do. I don't know if I like that. I kind of enjoy reading the letter pages after the issues, but yeah, it has some amazing letter pages for sure.
Awesome. Let's see here. The question is one of my favorite first issues ever. Interesting.
Yeah, let me show you.
Let
me see if I can find my favorite issue of Question.
Sure. All right, let's see. Alexander, it was about Brubaker and Epics. Gotcha. And you said that was? Yes. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Alexander. Alexander also says, I better win Black Mirror. Maybe. We'll see. I'll have to see. I don't know. I didn't vote for it personally. But that's just me. Let's see.
Never mind. I can't find it. But if you ever read the Question Quarterly, I think it's issue 4 or 5. It's the Rashomon issue, which they talk about in the letter pages as well. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Let's see here. There was one comment I wanted to make sure I highlighted. This one right here that is already highlighted. Alex, don't do History of Villains. I already announced my series on that.
We'll have to see who gets the video up first, I guess.
Ooh. I'll support both you guys. I'll watch both. And there's plenty of villains out there where you guys don't necessarily have to double dip, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I don't think Alex will be making a video on a history of Mantis anytime soon. So
true.
There's that.
I watched the Bella Twins on Whose Line Is It Anyway. It was hilarious. Who are the Bella Twins? Do you know?
They're a group of a pair of female wrestlers that were big in like the 2013, 2015, around there.
Gotcha. That makes sense. This is a great question. Favorite YouTuber creators / inspirations? You don't have to say me. All right. Don't worry about that.
Honestly, my favorite shows right now are probably Miller Time, which is the show that Mark Miller's doing, where he interviews a bunch of guys, and also it would be Cartoonist Kayfabe. That's still one of my favorite channels to watch.
Gotcha. I share my favorite issue of Question when I was on 2, a recurring segment of the show going forward. You did. I believe it was issue 2.
It is a good question, right?
If I remember correctly, I think it was issue 2. Don't ask me who the writer was, but yeah, I just remember It being 2. You can do heroes and anti-heroes. I don't care about Mantis.
What's wrong with Mantis, man?
Yeah, what the heck? Mantis is cool. Wow, Alexander, he's really laying down the law for you. He's telling you what you can and can't do. He's a strict kid, that one.
All right, I'll do a history of Nightwing.
There you go. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that one. So what's the first comic you ever read that you remember?
The first comic I ever remember reading was John Byrne's Fantastic Four.
John Byrne's Fantastic Four. Okay.
Yeah.
When was that? When did you first start reading comics?
That must have been when I was 8. I remember. I don't remember which issue it was, but I remember She-Hulk being in that issue. And
Okay.
Big She-Hulk fan ever since.
You okay? Cool. What did you think about the show? Did you watch that?
Not my She-Hulk, but it's fine. I
Okay.
did like the Daredevil scene. The Daredevil scene was kind of fun.
And I didn't finish it, but I enjoyed it. From like I do like the actress who played She-Hulk. I thought she did a pretty good job.
The best She-Hulk I think they did is, have you ever seen the 90s Hulk cartoon? She-Hulk was in that one. She was pretty good.
Never seen it. No, never seen it. But yeah, so when John Byrne wrote Fantastic Four, She-Hulk became a member of the Fantastic Four, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. After Battle World, which is what happens during Secret Wars, the thing stays behind and She-Hulk becomes a member of the Fantastic Four.
I may have to check that one out. That'd be cool.
I mean, look at this cover, though. This cover, I just love this, man. This is the She-Hulk John Byrne omnibus.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, I actually own a couple, or maybe only one She-Hulk comic, just because I like the cover. I do like the design of the character of She-Hulk. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
JS, when's the giveaway? That's the reason I came. There is no giveaway. Sorry to disappoint you. Not sure where you heard about that, but I do apologize if, no giveaway. Maybe one day. Did you read Beano and Dandy when you were younger? Maybe Horrible Histories. I'm not sure any of this. So
yeah, I'm unfamiliar with both, unfortunately.
So unfortunately not, Elon. Jay asked, if you could give one comic book to give to someone who's never read comics, what would it be? This is also kind of one of my questions that I wanted to ask you is what's a comic that you would recommend? So similar question. So what would that be, you think?
Depends. If it's a modern reader, I would probably give you The Ultimates by Mark Miller.
Okay.
I wouldn't give you Claremont's X-Men. There's no way. It's too wordy for a new reader.
Sure.
Venom. If they like manga, I'd give them Venom by Donny Cates, because that feels to me like a manga. Where you have like a very high like power scaling almost.
Yeah, I've never thought about it like that. I have read some of Cates's Venom. Did enjoy it.
For DC, I would probably go. You know what? They probably wouldn't read this, but Justice League International is my favorite Justice League run, so I have to say Justice League International.
Who's that by? Jeff Johns?
No, Justice League International is the run that came right after Crisis on Infinite Earths, after the DC Universe reset. So that was Keith Giffen and J. Andy Mateus. And originally it was with Kevin Maguire as well. And that goes on for like 8 years.
Okay. What about indie books? Is there any indie books, or do you not read indie books?
Yeah, I did a huge order for indie this month that should be coming soon.
Ooh.
I did get I can show you now. I got a book the other day.
Yeah.
Well, yes, today actually, I think.
Let's see it. I'm excited.
I got.
Let me highlight that real quick. Could you show that again? Ooh, what's this book? Interesting. Okay. What was that book?
That was the Manhattan Project Volume 6, which is a Jonathan Hickman indie book. I've got the hardcovers coming in, but that trade Volume 6 arrived earlier today, so That's cool.
It's too funny you mentioned that because I think literally today I was on Reddit or Blue Sky or something, and I saw a couple of images of that. I'm like, that seems cool. I want to get that.
Yeah.
I liked history a lot. I'm a kind of a history buff, so I'm like, I need to get that. So you will have to let me know how that is. Can we expect a indie book haul video from you when you get those packages?
You know what? Fine, I will do that.
You'll
'Cause
do that.
Yeah, I got a lot of good stuff for sure.
That's
A lot of-
awesome.
Yeah, I got most of Hickman's independent stuff.
Okay, cool. I don't think I've read any of Hickman's independent stuff. I don't believe. I know he has East to West, which I think maybe is his most famous independent book. I could be wrong. I could be not thinking of one
Yeah.
way more famous, but
Yeah, so the ones I picked up, I can spoil it here. I got Black Monday Murders coming in. I got
Okay.
Decorum. I got East to West Compendium, and then Manhattan Project. I think those are all the ones that I picked up.
Sweet. I always love it when people, because I think you might know this, I tend to read more indie. I obviously do. I have a lot of DC and Marvel comics, but I love indie books. So when people get into indie books more, I always love it. So if you ever need any recommendations, I'm sure you have plenty
Yeah,
of
for
other
sure, man.
resources you could go to, but you can always come to me to ask what to read. Mike asks, on the flip side, if you could have any issue or collected edition, what would it be? That's a great question.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on this one because I know that I have an answer for you. I just can't remember what it is.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
Um,
we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, we will be sure to get back to that. If you could choose one, oh my god, I don't know how to say this.
Usagi.
Usagi?
Yeah, or Berserk.
Or Berserk.
Okay, if you like dark fantasy stuff, Berserk is the best dark fantasy you'll ever find. Not a lot of people say this, but for me personally, it's one of the most uplifting stories you will ever read.
Interesting.
It starts off really, really dark, but you know, yeah, it only gets higher from there. You know, you can't get even worse. It gets bad, it gets even worse, but then you start seeing the light. You know.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I have not heard that about Berserk. I do own the first volume, the library edition, right up here. I have not read it. I'm kind of waiting because I feel like I'm gonna love it, and I want to wait when I'm able to afford the rest of the volumes, or a good chunk of them. That way, when I start reading it, I can order the next few. That way, I don't have to wait. I am excited to dive into Berserk. Usagi, that's one. I haven't heard too much about it. I know of it, and I know a lot of people like it and have it in their collected editions, but I haven't heard too much about it. Have you read that one?
Usagi is actually one of the only popular manga that I haven't read. So
Oh wow,
no.
okay. All right, well that answers that.
I'm hoping for a deluxe edition for Usagi. Then I'll
That'd be
read
cool.
it.
I feel like there were some sort of deluxe editions or special editions that are super, super out of print and super expensive. And I think it might have been Near Mint Condition. I was watching one of his videos who talked about it and how like expensive it was, or I can't remember exactly. So don't quote me on that. Jay is currently reading Essex County and Something is Killing the Children. Have you read any of those, Alex?
I have not. I was going to pick up Something is Killing the Children, but the deluxe is 60 euros over here, which is a lot of money.
That is. I have both right up here. This is slipcase editions too, and I recommend them. I really like Something's Killing the Children. Besides, they do a lot. I actually talked about this in a recent video during my Gun Honey Blood for Blood review. They do 2-page panel spreads, kind of. So it's not like a double splash page, but you like read across 2 pages. And when comics do that, I always find it jarring at first. And in there, I found it jarring as well. And that's the only aspect I don't really like, because it doesn't count for like the gutter loss in the spine, right? So you're always going to lose some material with that. And so I don't know, but that's a small nitpick there.
I was
Alon says, go ahead.
I was never a big fan of gimmicks in comics. Like for example, I know that X-Force by Liefeld has a bunch of they did these annuals and these issues that sometimes they would be like flipped like this. So
Okay, sure.
you have to turn the book upside down to read it. It's
And
not
you're not
fun
doing
when you're holding like a 5 kilo omnibus, you know.
Yeah. No, I get that. Some creative decisions like that, I can respect it, but I don't necessarily like it. You know, I'm like, okay, it's a cool creative decision they made, and I respect that. But at the end of the day, it does kind of make the reading experience wonky for me personally.
I think that what is
Yeah, I
it? The
get
Final Crisis Absolute has the 3D glasses.
Oh, is that right?
That's
I didn't
so
even know that.
yeah. I think that's so ridiculous.
Oh
But
my
it's kind
gosh.
of cool.
Wow. Yeah, I had no idea about that. I know Alan Moore's Swamp Thing has a few pages too where you have to like turn the book to read it. And
Oh
when I
yeah,
was reading
Promethea
that,
is also is like that.
what's
Promethea
that?
by Alan Moore. Promethea by Alan Moore and
Okay, yeah.
J.H. Williams is also like that. You have to flip the book a bunch.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Bunk, Black Monday Murders is my favorite Hickman comic ever. Really need that to get finished.
Yeah, I heard that that's been on hiatus since 2018 or something like that. So I don't think it will be finished, but hopefully.
Let me write that one down because I feel like I've heard of that. I have not. I haven't seen too much about that though. Alon says East to West builds up to a brilliant crescendo. Hopefully, I'm saying that right.
Crescendo, yeah.
Cool.
I love a lot of Hickman's work. I know that people don't. They say they don't like the slow build, but come on, man.
Works for you, huh?
Yeah,
I'll have to
works for
read
me.
more. I'll have to read more indie books by him then. Check some stuff out. Jay says Batman Court of Owls has as well for page flipping. I don't remember that from Court of Owls, but interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I don't remember that. I only Omnis, the new 52 Omnis.
I think it might have been Death of the Family. I could be wrong though.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't really remember that. I did read that. I read Batman New 52 pretty quick though. Thinking _ positive says Hickman's non-big two stuff is not a beginner-friendly writer, in my opinion. Feel like I'm not ready for that yet. Interesting. Okay. Alex, maybe you'll have to fill us in on that after we read some of his non-big two stuff to let us know whether it's new reader friendly or not.
Most of Hickman isn't new reader friendly, to be honest.
Yeah. I for the All-in-One Nerd Show, it's funny. I think it was our first or second episode. We read the Ultimate Invasion, I think it's called, like the setup for the Ultimate Universe and whatnot. And yeah, I did not really enjoy that. And I'm not a new reader.
I really liked it. I love I really like that, the Ultimate Invasion. I love the first scene where it's like you don't know who it is, right? And he's like fucked everyone over.
Right.
And it's like 8 guys, and then he's like, oh my god, I'm so bad at describing things, but there's 8 guys in a room, and he's like, you work for me or some shit, and then it turns out it's the Maker, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I don't know. I thought it just felt unfinished to me. And I think it kind of is, you know. I'm sure if you read that and continue on with the other Ultimate stuff, it makes more sense and feels more rewarding, I guess. But reading it on its own, I just don't think it makes too much sense. The page flipping was in the Labyrinth. Okay, that makes sense. That would make sense. Cool. Next question I have for you is most impactful comic you've ever read and why?
Okay, we can do this in two sections. We can do the manga section and we can do the comic section.
Yeah.
For manga, it would probably be Dragon Ball. I mean, but it's one of my all-time favorites. I think about it almost every day. You know, it's been a part of my life since as long as I can remember.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, One Piece is similar for me. I got the Luffy.
I was gonna mention the poster.
A few figures over there as well, and some there that I haven't properly displayed. But Yeah, those two. When it comes to comics, um, I don't know. Maybe Justice League International, because that's the one I kind of feel almost changed my personality after
Okay.
reading it. I definitely took a lot away. Took a lot away from it.
Interesting. Okay.
That
Great
story is
answer.
deeply personal. It's like you're being amongst friends for 8 years.
Hmm. I have heard quite a bit of good stuff about Justice League International. I believe it's the same run you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's see, Jay says Demon Slayer or Fairy Tale equals peak manga. Would you agree with that?
Um, we all have our own opinions. Uh,
So no.
I remember reading Demon Slayer when it was coming out, and not a lot of people. It had like no coverage. No one knew it until the anime, and then it just blew up like
Mhm.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Mike asks, do you have a collectible you're most proud of? It's a good question.
Yeah, my X-Men, my Claremont X-Men. I'm only missing one issue, one omnibus, but definitely my Claremont X-Men, and
Okay.
my Fantastic Four omnibus by John Byrne, because that was like the first comic I ever read.
Sure. Awesome. What about like statue or anything like that? Is there one you're most proud to own?
Yeah, I've gotten it's kind of flipped, but this figure right here is Odin from One Piece. He's my favorite character, and that was a gift from my brother. Do you want me to show it off? I can.
Yeah, go grab it.
Okay.
Let me look at the chat, see what else we're missing.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh. You didn't break it, did you? Let me highlight SLL. Awesome. Oh, we got another one. That's awesome. That is pretty sick. I agree.
Yes, I also have a bunch of Gunplas scattered all over the room. Those are like Gundam figures that you
Okay.
make kits. But yeah, that Odin one is probably my favorite that I have. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have watched quite a bit of One Piece, like 500 plus episodes. Like I'm
I'm
at
sorry
the
for you, man. You gotta read it.
I
Pacing is
know.
so bad.
I know. Yeah. Mind you, I did follow like a guide online, the One Piece or whatever it's called. So I did skip quite a bit of episodes there, but I'm not even sure who Odin is. I don't he
He's
hasn't shown
yeah,
up
he
yet.
appears in like chapter 918 or around there.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm kind of waiting a couple more years to read the manga. Just so it's a little less fresh in my head and it's like revisiting it. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't really remember this anymore. So I am kind of waiting for that. Um,
I would
but
love manga deluxe editions actually.
oh my, me too.
Like shonen deluxe editions, even in color. Like they did back in the day, they had a release where Dragon Ball was printed in color and they were a bit oversized. I would love to see that for mangas like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in color, One Piece as well. Yeah, I would love to see that.
I would love to get like a One Piece collected edition like Berserk. And I know it's like
Yeah,
different publishers and printing houses, but I think that would be awesome if they did like a nice hardcover for all of One Piece. Like that would be sick. Let's see. JS favorite crisis. Do not say Identity Crisis. All right.
I got the deluxe for Identity Crisis, man. Well, my favorite crisis, probably Crisis on Infinite Earths. I love that. Wolfman's writing is incredible, and so is Perez. His artwork is great.
Cool. Awesome.
And it has my favorite Barry Allen scene in it. So
I think I know which one you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Okay. All right. Next question I have for you. And you might have already answered this one, but sometimes it's different for people. Personal favorite comic you've ever read?
Planetary or Fourth World.
Planetary or Fourth World. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, do you own the omnibus? And you don't own the absolute. You said the only absolute you own is
Yeah.
Transmet.
The omnibus is
Okay,
right
yeah,
next to Preacher over there, and my Fourth World is like at the bottom.
awesome. Yeah, Planetary is one I need to read. I don't really plan on owning many other omnibuses, just because I don't like reading omnibuses. I find them kind of uncomfortable. But Planetary is one of those where I need to get the omnibus to read it. And there's a couple others that are interest me where I want to buy it, but that's kind of it. Awesome. So, who's your favorite comic book writer? Would you say?
Probably a current writer, probably Hickman. I read all Hickman does. I'm loving his Aliens Avengers right now. It's really good.
Okay, interesting.
Who else? I'll read everything that Simonson does. I love Walt Simonson.
Okay.
Artists, Kirby. I mean, Kirby is a writer for me as well. Like, so his DC stuff is my favorite.
Mm.
Yeah,
Interesting. I feel like his
so-
DC stuff is people would say that's him at with no guardrails. He was able to
Yeah,
do whatever he wanted.
for sure.
You know. So if you like Kirby, I haven't read Fourth World. I haven't read much Kirby either. So I still need to kind of dip my toes into that world. No pun intended there. James, hope you're doing well, man. I agree. Aliens versus Avengers has been amazing so far. Awesome. Now, is that like Aliens, like the movie trilogy?
Yeah, like Xenomorphs.
Ooh, interesting.
It's interesting because Disney owns the rights to that, but we never see it. Like, this is the first time they're crossing over in the comics, I think, since the acquisition.
Because Fox owns it, right? Aliens?
No, I think Disney does.
Well, they own Fox now, Disney. But originally, I think I could be wrong. I thought it was Fox that owned Aliens. And then, yeah, so now Disney owns the Alien franchise. Interesting. I knew that was happening. I didn't know Hickman, he writes it?
Yeah, he does. It's Asad Ribic doing the artwork as well.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. Maybe I'll have to check that out. Another question I have for you, and we're kind of getting down to the last few here. What's a comic that you would like to be adapted into a movie or TV show, and why?
I think Just League International would be a perfect TV show.
Okay.
It would be so fun. In terms of movie, I keep looking around my room here, but you know what? Onslaught. I would love to see Onslaught from the X-Men.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the most 90s extreme character you can find, but he's fucking cool, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know Onslaught. Give me like the rundown of who.
Okay, so all right, I can't tell you who he is, but basically his design is like a Magneto with no face, and he's fucking shredded. So it's almost like a Hulk in a Magneto costume with no face, and he's huge.
Interesting. Okay, so it's very 90s-esque then.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Huge shoulder pads as well.
Do you think that would work in a movie or TV show?
I don't know. Just to see him would be cool.
Yeah, that would be
cool. So absurd. Yeah.
I bet they could make it work, but they would have to go for it. You know, they would definitely have to go for it, for that zaniness from what you're describing. Interesting. Okay. Any other comic they would like to see adapted?
Orion by Walt Simonson. I would love to see Thor. Any Thor properly done. I mean, the movies were. People like the third movie, the Ragnarok movie, but I like that really a fan of that one.
Yeah, I like Ragnarok a lot. Other than that, it's like Love and Thunder was not good at all. I don't know if it's the worst of the Thor movies, but it's definitely awful at times.
Yeah.
So yeah, they kind of butchered Gore, right? Is that his name? Gore
Yeah, Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah, they kind of butchered him. No pun intended. Pun intended. Who am I kidding? Cool. All right. Yeah. Next question I have for you is not comic book related, but I'm curious about it. And I always ask this question. Maybe you know what the question is, but do you have any sort of paranormal experience that you care to share?
Most of my paranormal experiences would just be like fabrications of my own mind when I was a kid. I mean, I remember going to like a school toilet and seeing a ghost, but I don't think I actually saw a ghost.
It was like the janitor or something. It was just a normal.
Yeah, or like doing the
Okay.
Ouija boards and it moving, but it was just my friend blowing it.
Right. Okay. Now, do you believe in the paranormal, ghost, and all that jazz?
I would like to believe in that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in a similar boat where I I'm very much a skeptic. I like a good ghost story though. I like to entertain it, I guess you could say. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily believe it. But with that being said, uh if I'm the last downstairs, I am definitely running up those stairs at night, when the lights are all off. I'm not messing around with that. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
find out if ghosts are real. Um so yeah. Interesting. A lot of people, the people I have had on the show, they kind of give a similar answer, but are more just non-believers. So you were actually kind of the first one who was like more open to the paranormal and interested in it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a cool idea.
I agree. Yeah, like I said, I don't necessarily believe it though, but I'm not trying to find out.
Yeah.
I'm good. So some other questions I have from you are more so about your channel, and I guess we might have maybe touched on it here. But like, what other content do you plan on making outside of comics, if any, or do you just plan on making comic book content?
I haven't really thought of doing anything else, mostly
Okay,
because that's what interests me. I have other channels that I'm not active on, but I did like some wrestling montages basically. So if I feel the need to do something, I would just put it on another channel that I have.
gotcha. Cool.
Um,
So like comic book reviews, do you plan on doing that, or do you just plan on, um, I guess, just analyzing the story? I guess kind of like what you were saying about like the history of like a superhero.
I think I'd be down to review something if I
Hmm.
see no one else talking about it. For
Okay.
example, I see that a lot of Hickman's indie books are not talked about on YouTube at all. It's very hard to come
Mm.
across a review or someone just talking about it. So that might be something that interests me to do later down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to ask you, I guess, about Thor that was brought up earlier. And I do want to kind of circle back to it. What's your favorite Thor run and why?
All of them. No, I like. I love Kirby's run. I love Simonson's run. I love Tom DeFalco's run. Warren Ellis has a short run that he does on Thor, and it's quite fun.
Okay.
Um, Gillen's run is good. Straczynski's run is good. A lot of people say that Daredevil has the best runs. I think Thor is right up there.
Interesting. Okay. I've not heard that take before. I have heard the
Yeah,
take that Daredevil has the most consistent runs, but not about the Thor.
I mean, if you look at it, we've had. I think Dan Jurgens' run was quite fun, and that went
Mhm.
into the JMS run, which went into the Gillen run, which went into the Matt Fraction run, and then the Jason Aaron and Donny Cates run. Those are pretty good runs, like
Okay.
overall. The book I got today was actually the Thor by Jack Kirby Omnibus Volume 1. I can show it off if you want.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rise and Fall of the Bloodline was adapted into a comic, and DWJ was not available to do it. Here we go. I'll ask that question, Bunk, when he gets back here. Okay, sweet. Wow, look at that. Oh, wow. That was cool. Man, he's got a cool room, Alex does. Holy smokes. You got a cool room, man. I gotta say.
Thank you, man. If you saw there, I actually I opened on a page that had letter pages. So that's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
But I'm excited to have that in Omnibus collected because I really am a fan of that run.
Yeah, absolutely. Bunk Master B on Comics asks, if the Rise and Fall of the Bloodline was adapted into a comic and DWJ was not available to do it, what creative team would you want? I'm not sure what the Bloodline is.
It's a wrestling faction.
That's kind of what I thought it was to do with wrestling, but I wasn't 100% sure.
I would. You know what? I think Morrison would do a great one.
Grant Morrison, okay.
Yeah, Grant Morrison and Olivier Coipel on artwork.
Interesting. Well, there you go, Bunk. There's your answer. Well, I think that's going to do it. I don't have any other questions that I came prepared with. Is there anything you want to promote besides your channel, talk about before we head out?
Yeah, guys, go ahead and read Thor, please. Do yourself a favor.
Go ahead and read Thor. There you go.
Yeah, and that's about all I have to say.
What runs should they start with? Or maybe even when should I start with if I were to read Thor?
Okay, if you're okay with words, read Simonson's run. It is a bit wordy.
Okay.
So if you're okay with that, read Simonson's run because it's great. Otherwise, Dan Jurgens is a pretty good one to start with. Or Jason Aaron's run or Straczynski's run. Those are the four I would give you to read.
Okay. Got it. Awesome.
Even Donny Cates, I mean, he's got like 15 issues that are pretty good.
Yeah, he never finished that run there, right? Someone else came
in. It was what's his name? He's doing Immortal Thor right now. He did Immortal Hulk. Al Ewing. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Awesome. So everyone, please go subscribe to Count Comics. Like I said, link to that in the description below if you're not already subscribed. And Alex, thank you again for coming on. I had a great time talking with comics with you. And yeah, we'll definitely have to have you on another time here.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's been a good time.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Take care, folks.